So you guys were one. I'm hearing a lot of you guys. You guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that. And when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So it's shorter. There you go. Crazycatlady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair use, educational, for education and entertainment purpose.
Hi everybody, Martha here. So this is for Moon Knight, episode 5, and what a crazy ride we went on today in this episode. Man, I don't know if I'm able to describe it, but it makes sense that this would be a crazy ride for Mark and Steven to go on, because they are in a psych ward. Or maybe not. Maybe they're on the way to the Egyptian afterlife. Which is it? um, which is weird since Mark is Jewish. I don't know. Jew. I don't know since I'm not learned about other religions that much. Even though Christianity and Jewish, I would say are pretty similar, but maybe they're not. No need to be disrespectful to a religion. Um, but if there's any Jews in this who watch this video want to explain, because the fact that they have different names for a wake after the funeral, I guess there is some differences. So, if you guys want to um, acknowledge me, teach me, I won't mind. Let's hope you just do it respectfully, because I like learning about new things. But anyway, let's get back to this crazy ride of an episode. So we start this episode with seeing Mark getting yelled at by his mom, saying it's your fault, and we find out later on what she blames him for in this episode. And so we go we start with Mark talking to Arthur, who still is or Arrow, who still is a doctor in this, and the head of the psychiatry ward that he's at, and he gets sedated eventually because he keeps on saying you're not a doctor, and he keeps on wanting to attack him and stuff like that, and eventually he gets sedated by the two cops that came and got him in one of the first, I think episode 3, and he ends up seeing Steven and the hippo, who is, I guess, one of the Egyptian gods. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to remember her name. If I say it wrong, I apologize. Correct me, okay? It's really hard to say. I would say it starts with a T, but I'm just gonna call it hippo because I can't remember. As I heard it said when I watched explainer episode for this, but I still can't remember the hippo's name, so I'm just gonna call it Hippo. Okay? Alright. I guess she's helps people. If I get that wrong too, it correct me. She helps people to the afterlife, I guess, and she judges them if they're good or bad. And I guess apparently, if they're bad, they eat the crocodile. If they're good, they get to go to the afterlife, I guess. And if they had to be weighed by be the same weight as a feather, so that's. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it's weird. But anyway, so he still grabs both Steven's and Mark's heart after they find out they're not in they're not really in a psychiatric hospital. Basically, Mark and Steven are both dying, and I guess this is happening in their mind, and while they're dying, and they end up actually being carried to the afterlife. And for some reason, since Mark thinks he's insane, himself is insane, which he is, he sees himself in a psychiatric hospital. Okay, so that makes sense. Um, but still, crazy ride. Um, we see some memories from the past of Fast Few Days. Um, like when Steven turned the sky really fast and Conchu got turned to a stone statue, and when Mark was killing all those jackals in the first episode in the bathroom, and then we see one of we find out later is Mark drinking by a car, but I guess you're supposed to think it's the third personality, but we still have not seen the third personality in full, really. If they're actually going to show him, and you find out when he goes into one of the doors and sees all the people that Mark has killed in his life ever since he got ever since he came Moon Knight, and then we see a little boy running away, and I guess it's supposed to be young Mark here, and we find out sadly how his little brother Ron um, drowns in a cave, and they were both playing outside. They both go into a cave. It starts to rain, and the water rises, and his little brother drowns. And we see a Jewish wake. I don't know the name of it. You can tell me if you want me to. Um, and his mom blames him for his little brother's death. But if you think about it, if he would have tried to save his little brother, because the two actors, the two little kids, they got to play each other, Mark probably would have drowned himself, because he's not much taller than him, and he probably weighs just as much as he does, and he probably would have drowned him too. So, and then she would have lost both her kids. But she did ask him before they both went outside, protect your brother. But we find out what Steven tells him later on. I haven't got to that part yet though. And we see basically he ended up creating Steven because to hide the fact that his mom was abusive, was never there for any of his birthdays after his brother died, became a drunk, and then eventually started abusing her son, and driven him away to where he didn't want to be around, until eventually his mom passed away, and he didn't want to go to her funeral. And for all this, he created another personality to hide and to make it look like he had a great life. And that's why Steven sees his mom as a nice mom and stuff like that, while Mark knows the truth. And when Mark's mom died, Steven thinks that he is still alive. And basically, he named Steven after Stephen Grant, came from somewhat another person that was like Indiana Jones, an archaeologist. So that's why he is likes all this Egyptian stuff. That's why Stephen likes all those Egyptian stuff, because an archaeologist would like that. So basically, he made Stephen to hide the truth, and that's why Stephen does not know the truth about his life. And it shows in this part where he's talking to his mom, or at least he thinks he's talking to mom. The screen on the phone actually has some website on it instead of somebody else talking to him. So he's actually not talking to anybody. He just thinks he is. So, and and basically we see Steven finding out the truth, and he does not want to accept this. We see him and this time he's talking to Dr. Ward, and and the doctor plays along. Dr. Arrow and the doctor plays along and calls Steven's mom, and this is when he accepts that his mom's dead. And so those first episodes, we saw him talk to his mom. He wasn't really. So um, this is when Steven's telling Mark, it wasn't your fault. What happened to your little brother? You did not. You weren't able to save him. You were just a little bitty kid, and like I said earlier, you would have drowned. Okay, so you could have drowned. Both of you would have drowned, and it's just a horrible situation as it is. So, and then we find out that maybe one of the other villains are the ones who killed Leia's dad, and we find out how Mark became Moon Knight. He was pretty much half dead when he came to the one of the temples of Khonshu, and sees a statue of Khonshu right above him, and Khonshu offers to him because Mark is about to kill himself with a gun, and he says, become my avatar and help me avenge the people of the night. Help me avenge the bad guys of the night and save the people. And eventually Mark says yes, and that's how he becomes Moon Knight. So I thought maybe we wouldn't see the origin, but we kind of did. This out of order. So, which is fine. As long as I got to see some explanation about it. And eventually, for Mark to go to the afterlife, I guess he has to say goodbye to his one of his personalities, and we see a bunch of people that Mark has killed, come attack and try to take Mark over the boat, because they were going to try to turn around so Mark can come back to life and save Leia, but they weren't able to, apparently. But instead, the bodies end up taking down Steven, and Steven turns into stone, and that's when his hearts are the same balance as the feather, and he is going to the afterlife. And that's how this episode ends. So, like I said, this was a crazy ride episode, but I think it was pretty good of a ride. Some parts I thought I didn't understand, but now me talking about it helps me understand it. It was a weird ride, like I said, but I don't know. It was done great. It was sad. We got to see 2 parts of this episode where really 3. I think the whole entire episode was pretty sad because we got to see a little kid not really drown. They did not show that, thank God. And they did not tell us how his mom died. But I pretty much guessed she probably got alcohol poisoning or something like that. Or maybe she killed herself, I don't know. But they don't really say what it is. But it could be any number of those things. But and we got to see Steven turn to a statue. I don't think it's really hard to kill a personality that you create yourself unless you kill it yourself and to go back to the way you were before. I don't know. I never had a split personality really. Even though I was a little kid, I was just playing, but not as bad as his because I didn't have a traumatizing life as he did. So I don't know how that would work. So I doubt Steven's gone forever. We'll find out next episode, but I don't know how they're gonna finish everything in one episode, because next episode is supposed to be the last one. We had to find some way for Mark to get back to be resurrected and get Khonshu resurrected and stop Arrow. So I don't know how we're gonna do that in one episode, but they'll find a way, or they're gonna find some way to save it for season 2 if there is a season 2. But This is a great. I liked it. It was a great episode. Um, Probably gonna end up giving it a 9 out of 10. So, like, favorite, and subscribe, guys, and bye bye.